The look on my boss David Thompson's face when the Fortune magazine journalist called him to verify the details about the inexperienced junior employee who had just been featured as one of the magazine's 30 under 30 tech innovators was absolutely priceless. "You don't have the experience or business acumen to handle real client relationships," he had sneered at me just 8 months earlier while assigning me to data entry tasks despite my computer science degree from Stanford and my track record of building 3 successful mobile applications during college. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. Little did he know that while he was dismissing my potential and keeping me buried in administrative work, I had been quietly developing a revolutionary customer relationship management platform that would eventually catch the attention of Fortune magazine's editorial team and transform my career in ways that would make his condescending treatment of me look foolish in front of the entire tech industry. My name is Jessica Chen, and 15 months ago I was a 24-year-old software developer at Nexus Digital Solutions, a mid-sized technology consulting firm located in the heart of Austin's bustling tech corridor. With a bachelor's degree in computer science from Stanford University and experience building mobile applications that had collectively garnered over 100,000 downloads during my college years, I thought I understood how merit-based advancement worked in the technology industry. I believed that exceptional coding skills would be recognized, innovative solutions would be rewarded, and dedication to technical excellence would naturally lead to increased responsibilities and career growth opportunities within progressive tech companies that claimed to value talent over politics. I was completely wrong about how workplace dynamics actually function in many corporate environments, even those that pride themselves on being forward-thinking and innovation-focused. But that naivete would eventually become my greatest strength in building something extraordinary that would capture national attention and prove that genuine talent cannot be suppressed indefinitely by small-minded management practices. Nexus Digital Solutions occupied 3 floors of a sleek glass building in Austin's Domain District, serving as headquarters for a company that provided custom software development and digital transformation services to Fortune 500 clients across telecommunications, healthcare, and financial services industries. The company had built its reputation on delivering complex enterprise solutions that help large corporations modernize their legacy systems and improve operational efficiency through cutting-edge technology implementations that generated substantial cost savings and competitive advantages for their clients. The software development division, where I worked under Director David Thompson, was responsible for creating custom applications, database management systems, and user interface designs that formed the core of Nexus's service offerings to enterprise clients. Our team of 18 developers, designers, and project managers collaborated on projects ranging from mobile application development to large-scale system integration initiatives that required sophisticated technical expertise and creative problem-solving capabilities. David Thompson had joined Nexus 5 years earlier with an MBA from the University of Texas and a background in project management that emphasized client relationship development rather than hands-on technical expertise. He possessed strong presentation skills, political awareness, and the ability to communicate complex technical concepts to business stakeholders who lacked programming knowledge or software development experience. However, David's career advancement had been built primarily on taking credit for innovative solutions developed by his team members, while positioning himself as the strategic leader who guided their technical efforts towards successful commercial outcomes. David had perfected a management approach that involved assigning challenging technical projects to capable developers, then presenting their innovative solutions to senior management and clients as examples of his leadership effectiveness and strategic vision for technology implementation. This pattern had worked successfully for years because most developers were grateful for any recognition of their contributions and hesitant to challenge a director who controlled their project assignments, performance evaluations, and advancement opportunities within the company. David had created a departmental culture where questioning his leadership decisions or demanding proper attribution for technical innovations was perceived as lack of team collaboration that could result in negative performance reviews, assignment to less interesting projects, or even termination for creating discord within the development team. His management style relied on maintaining strict hierarchical control, while taking credit for the creative and technical work that actually drove the department's success. When I joined the software development division in March, I was initially assigned to routine maintenance tasks that involved updating existing applications, fixing minor bugs in legacy systems, and generating standard reports for various client projects. The work was technically straightforward, but provided valuable exposure to Nexus's development methodologies, client requirements, and technical infrastructure that would prove essential for understanding how to leverage the company's resources effectively for more ambitious projects. David initially treated me with professional courtesy while evaluating my technical capabilities and determining how my skills could contribute to the department's project portfolio and his own career advancement objectives. He observed my proficiency with multiple programming languages, my ability to identify elegant solutions to complex technical challenges, and my talent for creating intuitive user interfaces that made sophisticated software applications accessible to non-technical business users. After 6 weeks of routine assignments, David assigned me to a project that would ultimately transform both our professional trajectories, though neither of us could have anticipated the far-reaching consequences of that decision at the time. The assignment would mark the beginning of my journey toward national recognition, while simultaneously exposing the limitations of David's approach to leadership and talent development. Nexus's senior management team had requested development of an advanced customer relationship management platform that could integrate seamlessly with existing enterprise software systems, while providing sophisticated analytics capabilities that would help sales teams identify optimal customer engagement strategies and predict potential account expansion opportunities. The project represented a significant technical challenge because traditional CRM systems often functioned as isolated data silos that failed to provide comprehensive insights about customer behavior patterns, market trends, and cross-selling opportunities that could drive revenue growth. The executive committee wanted a system that could analyze customer communication patterns, purchase history, market segment data, and behavioral indicators to generate actionable insights that would enable sales teams to personalize their approach for each client while identifying the most promising opportunities for account development and retention strategies. This required sophisticated data integration capabilities, machine learning algorithms for pattern recognition, and user interface design that would make complex analytics accessible to sales professionals who lacked technical backgrounds. David assigned the preliminary research and technical feasibility analysis to me, with instructions to develop initial concepts and architectural specifications that he would review before presenting recommendations to senior management. He emphasized that this represented a career-defining opportunity for both of us, suggesting that successful completion could lead to my promotion to senior developer, while establishing his reputation as an innovative leader in customer relationship management technology. I approached the project with tremendous enthusiasm and determination, recognizing that solving this challenge would require combining advanced programming techniques with creative user experience design and sophisticated data analysis capabilities that could transform how sales teams approached customer relationship development. Traditional CRM platforms focused on contact management and basic activity tracking without providing the deep analytical insights that could guide strategic decision-making and personalized customer engagement approaches. My innovative approach involved developing a comprehensive platform that would integrate multiple data sources including email communications, social media interactions, purchase transaction records, customer service interactions, and market research data to create detailed customer profiles that revealed behavioral patterns, preferences, and potential needs that sales teams could address proactively. The system would use machine learning algorithms to identify optimal communication timing, preferred interaction channels, and potential product interests based on comprehensive analysis of customer behavior and market trends. The technical development process required 4 months of intensive research, algorithm development, user interface design, and testing across multiple client scenarios to ensure that the platform could deliver meaningful insights while maintaining user-friendly functionality that would encourage adoption by sales teams with varying levels of technical expertise. I worked evenings and weekends to ensure that every component of the system was thoroughly tested and optimized for maximum analytical accuracy, while providing intuitive navigation and clear data visualization that would enable effective decision-making. Throughout the development process, I maintained detailed documentation of every design decision, coding session, and breakthrough insight that contributed to the platform's evolution. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. This documentation served multiple purposes, including ensuring that the system could be maintained and enhanced by other team members, providing transparency about the development methodology for client presentations, and creating a comprehensive record of the intellectual property development process that would prove invaluable in ways I could not have anticipated at the time. The documentation proved to be far more significant than I initially realized, though its ultimate importance would not become apparent until David revealed his true intentions regarding ownership and attribution of the innovative work I had created independently during those months of intensive development effort. By July, I had developed a functioning prototype that demonstrated remarkable effectiveness in predicting customer behavior patterns and identifying sales opportunities when tested against historical client data from the previous 3 years. The platform had successfully identified potential account expansion opportunities that traditional CRM systems had missed, while providing personalized engagement recommendations that could have increased client retention rates by an estimated 34% based on comprehensive analysis of customer interaction patterns and market trends. The breakthrough came when I discovered that integrating natural language processing analysis of customer communications with purchasing pattern recognition could predict customer satisfaction levels and potential churn risk with 89% accuracy, providing sales teams with early warning systems that would enable proactive retention strategies before customers became dissatisfied enough to consider switching to competitors. This insight represented a fundamental innovation in customer relationship management that could provide Nexus with substantial competitive advantages in helping clients optimize their sales performance and customer retention strategies. When I presented the completed platform to David, his response was immediate and enthusiastic. He praised the innovative approach, the comprehensive technical implementation, and the potential commercial value of the system for Nexus's client services portfolio. He scheduled a presentation to the executive committee for the following week, indicating that this breakthrough could establish our department as the industry leader in customer relationship management technology solutions. However, David's enthusiasm contained elements that I initially failed to recognize as warning signs about his true intentions regarding ownership and attribution of the work I had developed independently. His questions focused more on understanding the technical methodology and business applications than on discussing how to present our collaborative efforts to senior management in ways that would appropriately recognize my contributions to the innovation. He requested copies of all documentation, source code, and testing results, ostensibly to prepare comprehensive presentation materials that would effectively communicate the platform's capabilities and commercial potential to the executive committee. At the time, I interpreted this as normal preparation for an important business presentation that would determine the future direction of our department's technology development initiatives. The executive committee presentation was scheduled for a Thursday morning in Nexus's main conference room, with attendance by CEO Michael Rodriguez, Chief Technology Officer Dr. Sarah Kim, and 4 other senior executives who would evaluate the commercial viability and strategic importance of the customer relationship management platform for the company's service offerings and competitive positioning in the marketplace. David informed me that he would handle the primary presentation responsibilities, while I provided technical support and answered detailed questions about implementation requirements, system architecture, and integration capabilities that might arise during the discussion. This arrangement seemed reasonable given his seniority and experience with executive presentations, though I expected that my role in developing the platform would be clearly acknowledged and appropriately credited during the presentation. On Wednesday evening, David called me into his office for what he described as final preparation and strategy discussion for the executive committee presentation. The conversation would reveal his actual intentions regarding ownership attribution and mark the beginning of a professional conflict that would ultimately determine both our career trajectories in ways neither of us could have anticipated. Jessica, I've been reviewing your work on the customer relationship management project, and I need to discuss some important considerations about how we should approach tomorrow's presentation to the executive committee, David began, his tone carrying an authoritative quality that seemed designed to discourage questions or alternative perspectives about the presentation strategy he had developed. I believe the executive committee will be more receptive to this innovation if it's presented as a strategic departmental initiative developed under my leadership, rather than as an individual contributor project that might raise questions about proper oversight and management effectiveness. The technical complexity of the platform might overshadow its business value if we focus too heavily on your specific technical contributions to the development process. The suggestion immediately raised concerns about proper recognition for the months of independent work I had invested in creating the platform, but David continued before I could respond to his initial statement about presentation approach and attribution strategy. The executive committee expects department directors to drive major technological innovations through strategic vision and team leadership, rather than individual developers working independently on complex projects without proper management oversight and strategic guidance. Presenting this as your personal project could create questions about my supervision and leadership effectiveness that might distract from the platform's commercial potential and strategic value for our client services. I realized that David was systematically minimizing my role in developing the breakthrough technology, while positioning himself as the strategic visionary who had conceived and guided the project from initial concept through final implementation. This approach would deny me recognition for innovative work that represented the most significant professional achievement of my career, while enabling David to claim credit for intellectual property and technical innovations he had not created. David, I understand the importance of presenting a unified team approach to the executive committee, I replied carefully, attempting to maintain professional courtesy while advocating for appropriate recognition of my contributions to the platform development. But I think it's essential that the executive committee understands the technical innovation and development process behind the platform's effectiveness. The methodology represents a significant breakthrough in customer relationship management that required extensive research and technical implementation. The executive committee should understand how the innovation was achieved in order to evaluate its commercial potential and strategic implications accurately. David's response revealed the true nature of his intentions and established the adversarial dynamic that would define our professional relationship for the months ahead, ultimately leading to consequences neither of us could have predicted when this conversation began. Jessica, you seem to be confused about the hierarchy and decision-making authority within this department, David replied, his tone becoming more dismissive and authoritarian as he attempted to assert control over the situation and my expectations about recognition for my work. I am the department director, and I determine how projects are presented to senior management and how credit is attributed for work completed within my area of responsibility. Your job is to provide technical implementation support, not to dictate presentation strategy or demand personal recognition for work completed as part of your employment obligations to this company. The dismissive tone and hierarchical assertion made clear that David viewed my technical contributions as his property to claim and present according to his career advancement objectives, without regard for my role in creating the innovations that would potentially transform Nexus's competitive position in the customer relationship management market. He had no intention of providing appropriate attribution for the innovative work I had developed independently, and he expected my compliance with his misrepresentation of the project's origins and development process. I have decided that tomorrow's presentation will focus on the strategic vision and business value of the customer relationship management platform, with technical implementation details provided only as necessary to address specific questions from the executive committee members. You will attend the meeting to provide technical support and answer detailed implementation questions, but I will handle all primary communication with senior management about the platform's development and strategic implications. The conversation concluded with David's clear expectation that I would remain silent about my central role in developing the platform, while he claimed credit for conceiving and directing the project that represented months of my independent technical work and innovative thinking. He had effectively appropriated my intellectual property and demanded my complicity in the misrepresentation, using his authority as department director to enforce my cooperation with his fraudulent claims. That evening, I faced a decision that would define my professional integrity and determine whether I would allow this injustice to succeed through my silence or find a way to protect my intellectual property and eventually expose David's attempt to steal credit for my innovative work. The choice I made that night would set in motion a series of events that would ultimately lead to national recognition and vindication in ways I could not have imagined at the time. I chose to fight back, but not through immediate confrontation that would likely result in my termination and David's continued success in appropriating my work. Instead, I decided to begin documenting every aspect of our professional relationship while continuing to produce exceptional work that would eventually demonstrate the disconnect between David's claimed technical expertise and his actual capabilities as a technology leader. The executive committee presentation the following morning would mark the beginning of David's fraudulent appropriation of my intellectual property, but it would also represent the first entry in a comprehensive record of evidence that would ultimately expose his pattern of taking credit for others' innovations while failing to deliver genuine technical leadership or strategic vision. The path to justice would require patience, strategic thinking, and meticulous attention to detail, but the eventual vindication would prove that maintaining integrity and fighting workplace injustice through preparation and persistence creates more sustainable victories than immediate emotional responses or direct confrontation that could be easily dismissed or suppressed by those in positions of authority. The mahogany-paneled conference room on the 15th floor of Nexus Digital Solutions hummed with the quiet intensity that preceded high-stakes executive presentations. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered expansive views of Austin's skyline, where the morning sun cast dramatic shadows across the downtown business district and the Colorado River, winding through the heart of Texas's technology capital. The executive committee members settled into their leather chairs with the practiced efficiency of leaders accustomed to making decisions that affected millions of dollars in client contracts and hundreds of employees across multiple office locations. CEO Michael Rodriguez commanded the head of the polished conference table, his silver-streaked hair and precisely tailored suit reflecting the executive presence that had guided Nexus through 8 years of consistent growth in the competitive technology consulting marketplace. Chief Technology Officer Dr. Sarah Kim settled into her chair with a tablet displaying preliminary technical specifications that would help her evaluate the innovation being presented from both technological and commercial perspectives. Chief Operating Officer Jennifer Martinez reviewed operational projections that would determine the feasibility and resource requirements for implementing any new technology platform across Nexus's existing client portfolio and service delivery infrastructure. Jessica Chen entered the conference room carrying a leather portfolio containing backup documentation for the customer relationship management platform she had spent 4 months developing, her heart racing with anticipation and nervous energy as she prepared to support what should have been the defining presentation of her early career. The platform represented a genuine breakthrough in customer analytics and relationship management that could revolutionize how Nexus's clients approach sales strategy and customer retention, potentially generating substantial competitive advantages and revenue growth opportunities for companies across multiple industries. David Thompson swept into the room with the confident bearing of someone who had mastered corporate presentation dynamics through years of experience, managing senior executive relationships, and positioning himself as an innovative technology leader. He carried himself with authority that suggested intimate familiarity with the technical innovation being presented, despite having contributed nothing to its development beyond administrative oversight and project scheduling within the broader departmental workload. The presentation materials displayed David's name as project leader and primary innovator, with Jessica listed as technical implementation specialist who had assisted with coding and testing under David's strategic guidance and technical direction. The attribution represented a complete fabrication that transformed Jessica's independent innovation into David's strategic achievement, while reducing the actual creator to a subordinate support role in her own breakthrough work. Michael Rodriguez opened the meeting with customary directness that reflected his preference for efficiency over ceremony in executive decision-making processes. David, I understand your team has developed something potentially transformative for our customer relationship management capabilities. The preliminary report suggests significant commercial potential for our client services portfolio, so let's see what you've accomplished and how it might enhance our competitive position in the marketplace. David launched into his presentation with polished confidence that demonstrated his considerable skill at translating complex technical concepts into business language that resonated with senior executives focused on revenue generation and competitive advantage, rather than programming sophistication or technical implementation details. He spoke about strategic vision, market positioning, and client value propositions, as if these insights had guided the platform's development from initial conception through final implementation. The customer relationship management industry faces unprecedented challenges in providing actionable insights that enable sales teams to optimize their approach to customer engagement and account development, David began, displaying charts that Jessica had created to illustrate traditional CRM limitations and market opportunities for more sophisticated analytical capabilities. Conventional platforms focus on contact management and basic activity tracking without providing the deep behavioral analysis and predictive insights that modern sales teams need to maximize their effectiveness and drive sustainable revenue growth. He continued with Jessica's research findings about market gaps and competitive opportunities, presenting the analysis as his own strategic assessment of technology trends that Nexus could leverage through innovative platform development. The presentation seamlessly incorporated months of Jessica's independent research, while attributing all insights and strategic planning to David's leadership and analytical expertise. I recognized that solving this challenge would require fundamentally reimagining how customer relationship management platforms process and analyze customer data to generate meaningful business intelligence, David declared, displaying slides that outlined Jessica's revolutionary methodology for integrating multiple data sources and applying machine learning algorithms to customer behavior analysis. Traditional CRM systems function as isolated data repositories that fail to provide comprehensive insights about customer preferences, behavioral patterns, and engagement opportunities, so I developed an approach that leverages advanced analytics and artificial intelligence to transform raw customer data into actionable strategic guidance for sales teams. Jessica watched in stunned silence as David claimed credit for every innovative insight that had driven the platform's development. The natural language processing algorithms for communication analysis, the machine learning models for behavior prediction, the user interface design that made complex analytics accessible to non-technical users, and the integration architecture that combined multiple data sources into coherent customer profiles, were all presented as manifestations of David's technical vision and strategic innovation. The theft was executed with masterful precision that demonstrated David's understanding of how intellectual property appropriation functions in corporate environments, where attribution depends more on hierarchical authority than on actual contribution to innovative work. Senior executives naturally assumed that department directors drove major technical breakthroughs through strategic leadership, rather than individual contributors developing solutions independently without proper management oversight. Dr. Sarah Kim interrupted the presentation with detailed questions about the platform's technical architecture and implementation methodology. David, this approach represents a significant advancement over conventional CRM capabilities. Can you explain how you developed the machine learning algorithms that enable behavioral prediction and the integration framework that combines multiple data sources into coherent analytical outputs? David's response revealed the fundamental weakness in his appropriation strategy, while providing Jessica with clear evidence that would eventually support her case for intellectual property theft and fraudulent misrepresentation of technical contributions. The technical implementation required extensive collaboration with my development team, David replied, gesturing vaguely toward Jessica while avoiding specific details about algorithmic design or programming methodologies. Jessica assisted with the computational aspects and user interface development under my guidance, but the strategic framework and innovative analytical approach represent my analysis of market requirements and technological opportunities. The specific technical details are less important than the strategic vision that guided the development process and ensures commercial viability for our client applications. The deflection demonstrated David's inability to explain work he had not performed, while simultaneously diminishing Jessica's role to mere technical assistance rather than fundamental innovation and creative problem-solving. However, the evasive response also created opportunities for follow-up questions that would expose the disconnect between David's claimed expertise and his actual understanding of the platform's functionality and technical sophistication. Jennifer Martinez pursued the operational implications of the technology, with questions about implementation costs, training requirements, and scalability across Nexus's diverse client portfolio that would determine whether the company should invest in full-scale platform deployment and market positioning. What kind of return on investment can we expect from this system, and how quickly can we integrate it into our existing service offerings while maintaining quality standards and client satisfaction levels? David's financial projections incorporated Jessica's detailed analysis of development costs, ongoing maintenance requirements, and revenue generation potential that she had calculated based on comprehensive market research and competitive analysis. Once again, months of Jessica's independent research and strategic planning were presented as David's business intelligence, while the actual contributor sat silently watching her intellectual property being systematically appropriated by someone who lacked the expertise to answer detailed questions about her own innovations. Based on my analysis of market opportunities and competitive positioning, This platform could generate substantial advantages that translate into increased client retention, expanded service contracts, and new market opportunities within the customer relationship management sector, David explained, presenting Jessica's detailed financial modeling and market analysis as his own strategic assessment. The investment in platform development and deployment will be offset by revenue increases and competitive advantages within 12 months of full implementation across our client portfolio. Michael Rodriguez appeared impressed by the comprehensive approach to innovation that David claimed to have orchestrated through strategic leadership and technical vision. This represents exactly the kind of forward-thinking development that distinguishes Nexus from our competitors in the technology consulting marketplace. David, I want you to prepare a detailed implementation plan for rolling this platform out to our major clients over the next 6 months. This achievement deserves recognition and could significantly enhance our market position. The announcement hit Jessica like a physical blow as she realized that David would receive full recognition and career advancement for breakthrough work that represented the culmination of her technical education, creative problem-solving abilities, and months of intensive development effort. The platform would become a cornerstone of Nexus's service offerings, while David claimed credit for innovations he could not explain or support through genuine technical understanding. David accepted the recognition with gracious appreciation that masked his satisfaction at successfully appropriating Jessica's intellectual property, while positioning himself for significant career advancement that would result directly from claiming credit for innovations he had not created. Thank you, Michael. I'm honored that Nexus recognizes the strategic value of this work, and I look forward to leading the implementation process that will establish our firm as the industry leader in advanced customer relationship management solutions. The meeting concluded with congratulations for David's outstanding achievement and discussions about implementation timelines, budget allocations, and personnel assignments that would bring the platform into full commercial deployment. Jessica was assigned to lead the technical implementation and client training processes under David's continued supervision, ensuring that her expertise would remain available while David received ongoing credit for the innovation and strategic vision. As executives filed out of the conference room, David approached Jessica with a mixture of triumph and warning that established the power dynamic for their continued working relationship and his expectations for her silence about the true origins of the platform development. Jessica, I hope you understand that this success reflects well on both of us. Your technical contributions were valuable, but the strategic vision and executive presentation skills required to make this innovation commercially viable represent leadership capabilities that develop only through years of experience managing complex projects and client relationships. The condescending explanation attempted to rationalize the intellectual property theft, while establishing expectations for Jessica's compliance with his version of events. David was making clear that challenging his attribution of the platform development would be interpreted as insubordination that could result in negative performance evaluations, assignment to less desirable projects, or even termination for creating conflict within the department. I expect your continued collaboration as we move forward with implementation and client deployment, David continued. Your technical skills will be essential for successful platform adoption, and I'm confident that working on this project will provide valuable learning opportunities about how strategic innovation translates into business success and career advancement within technology organizations. Jessica managed a professional response despite the anger and frustration that threatened to overwhelm her composure. I understand the importance of successful implementation, and I'm committed to ensuring that the platform performs according to specifications and delivers the analytical capabilities that our clients need for effective customer relationship management. The carefully neutral language avoided direct confrontation while preserving Jessica's dignity and maintaining her position within the implementation team. However, beneath the professional facade, Jessica was already beginning to formulate a strategic response that would eventually expose David's fraud and reclaim appropriate recognition for her innovative work, while building something even more significant that would capture national attention and transform her career trajectory. That afternoon, Jessica returned to her workstation with a new sense of purpose that extended far beyond mere technical implementation of her appropriated platform. She began systematically reviewing every email, document, and file that could provide evidence of her independent role in developing the customer relationship management system that David had claimed as his own strategic achievement. The documentation she had maintained throughout the development process would become the foundation for building an ironclad case against David's fraudulent claims, while also serving as the blueprint for creating something even more ambitious that would eventually capture the attention of Fortune magazine and establish her as a recognized innovator in the technology industry. I accessed my personal email account to review timestamps and content of messages I had sent to myself during late-night coding sessions, capturing breakthrough moments and technical insights that demonstrated my independent development of the platform's core innovations. These contemporaneous records would prove invaluable in establishing the true timeline of intellectual property creation and documenting my exclusive role in solving the complex technical challenges that made the system revolutionary. The email trail revealed a comprehensive record of my thought process and problem-solving approach throughout the 4-month development period. On April 3rd, I had emailed myself an excited description of discovering how natural language processing could be applied to customer communication analysis to predict satisfaction levels. The message included detailed technical specifications for implementing the sentiment analysis component, and my preliminary calculations showing potential accuracy improvements of 23% over traditional customer feedback surveys. David's first documented awareness of this innovation appeared in meeting notes dated May 18th, more than 6 weeks after my independent breakthrough. The electronic evidence painted a clear picture of my pioneering work, while demonstrating David's complete absence from the creative and technical development processes that had produced the platform's most valuable features. I reviewed version control logs in the software development system that tracked every modification to the platform's source code, providing electronic fingerprints that documented my exclusive role in programming the machine learning models, data integration frameworks, and user interface components that comprise the complete customer relationship management solution. The technical commits included detailed comments explaining design decisions and optimization strategies that only the actual developer could have written. My programming style was distinctive, featuring comprehensive documentation, elegant variable naming conventions, and sophisticated error handling routines that reflected my Stanford education and commitment to creating maintainable, scalable code that could be enhanced and modified by future developers. David's complete absence from the technical development process was glaringly obvious in the version control records. His user account showed no commits to the platform repository, no code reviews, and no technical contributions beyond occasional administrative comments requesting status updates or deadline confirmations. The electronic evidence painted an irrefutable picture of David as project administrator rather than technical innovator, while documenting my exclusive responsibility for every line of code, every algorithmic breakthrough, and every design decision that made the platform commercially viable and technically superior to competing solutions in the marketplace. I expanded my documentation efforts to include comprehensive records of every interaction with David following the executive committee presentation. I created encrypted files on my personal laptop that captured verbatim quotes, meeting agendas, email exchanges, and project discussions that revealed David's systematic efforts to maintain control over the platform, while demonstrating his fundamental lack of understanding about its technical implementation and capabilities. The implementation phase of the customer relationship management system provided numerous opportunities to document David's inability to explain or support the innovations he claimed to have created. When clients requested technical modifications or senior executives asked detailed questions about platform functionality, David consistently deferred to me while maintaining the fiction that he retained strategic oversight and conceptual ownership of the technology. During a video conference with potential enterprise clients interested in licensing the platform, David struggled visibly when asked to explain the machine learning methodology that enabled the system's predictive accuracy. His response consisted of generic business language about leveraging advanced analytics and comprehensive data integration, without any specific technical details that would demonstrate actual understanding of the platform's functionality. The system utilizes sophisticated analytical frameworks to identify customer behavior patterns through comprehensive data integration strategies, David explained to the confused clients who had requested specific information about the neural network architecture and training methodologies. Our approach combines traditional customer data with innovative alternative sources to provide enhanced predictive capabilities for sales team optimization and customer retention strategies. I watched this performance while taking detailed notes that captured David's inability to answer technical questions about his own supposed innovation. The contrast between David's vague business terminology and the specific technical expertise required to develop the platform provided compelling evidence that he lacked the knowledge necessary to have created the breakthrough technology he claimed as his intellectual property. The client meeting concluded with requests for detailed technical documentation that could support due diligence processes for potential licensing agreements. David assigned this responsibility to me with instructions to prepare comprehensive materials that would demonstrate the platform's commercial viability and technical sophistication while protecting proprietary methodologies from competitive analysis. The irony of asking the actual developer to document innovations that David claimed as his own intellectual property was not lost on me, and I recognize this as additional evidence of the fraudulent nature of his claims about platform ownership and development leadership. I used the technical documentation assignment as an opportunity to create materials that would subtly but definitively establish my authorship of the platform's key innovations. I included design rationales, optimization explanations, and implementation details that only the actual developer could provide, creating a comprehensive record that would support my eventual challenge to David's appropriation of my intellectual property. The documentation process revealed the extent to which David's career advancement had been built on systematically appropriating subordinates' work while presenting himself as a strategic innovator. I discovered that several previous projects credited to David's leadership showed similar patterns of technical development by team members, followed by strategic presentation and career advancement for David based on claiming ownership of others' innovations. Through careful conversations with former team members who had transferred to other departments or left Nexus entirely, I learned that my experience with intellectual property theft was not unique. David had perfected a management approach that involved identifying talented developers, assigning them challenging technical projects, then presenting their innovations as manifestations of his own strategic thinking and leadership capabilities. Maria Rodriguez, a former senior developer who had transferred to the mobile applications division, shared her experience during a discreet lunch meeting at a restaurant several blocks from the Nexus offices. David took credit for the inventory management system I developed 18 months ago, Maria revealed. He presented it to the executive committee as his strategic innovation, while I was relegated to technical support status. When I raised concerns about attribution, he questioned my team collaboration skills and loyalty during my performance review. This conversation provided me with crucial context about David's systematic pattern of intellectual property appropriation, while revealing that other victims had been silenced through performance evaluation threats and career advancement obstacles. The pattern suggested that challenging David successfully would require extraordinary evidence and strategic planning that previous victims had lacked. Dr. Andrew Park, who had left Nexus 8 months earlier to join a competing firm, provided additional insight during a carefully arranged coffee meeting in downtown Austin. David has built his entire reputation on claiming credit for innovations developed by technically skilled subordinates, he explained. The executive committee assumes that breakthrough technologies result from strategic leadership rather than individual contributor expertise, which creates perfect conditions for intellectual property theft to succeed without challenge. These conversations confirmed my assessment that exposing David's fraud would require overwhelming evidence that could not be dismissed or explained away through hierarchical assumptions about innovation attribution. Senior management's natural inclination to credit department directors with strategic achievements meant that challenging David's version of events would face institutional resistance beyond simple disputes about individual contributions to collaborative projects. I realized that my documentation strategy needed to extend beyond proving my own contributions to demonstrating David's systematic pattern of appropriating subordinates' work across multiple projects and timeframes. Building a comprehensive case that revealed David's career-long fraud would be more compelling than focusing solely on the customer relationship management platform theft. I began developing relationships with current team members who could provide additional evidence about David's management practices and previous instances of questionable attribution for technical achievements. These conversations required exceptional discretion, since any appearance of building a coalition against David could result in immediate termination for insubordination or conspiracy against departmental leadership. Thomas Williams, a machine learning specialist who had joined the team 6 months earlier, provided valuable insights during casual conversations about project methodologies and innovation processes. I noticed that David seems very focused on client presentations and executive meetings, but asks surprisingly basic questions about technical implementation details, he observed. For someone with his reputation for platform innovation, he seems to lack fundamental understanding of software architecture principles and machine learning methodologies. These observations from technically qualified colleagues provided external validation of my assessment that David's claimed expertise was largely fictional. Building a record of multiple witnesses who could testify to David's lack of technical understanding would strengthen my case for intellectual property fraud, while reducing the likelihood that my allegations could be dismissed as personal grievances or misunderstandings about collaborative development processes. The weeks following the executive committee presentation transformed into a careful balancing act where I maintained exceptional professional performance, while systematically building evidence that would eventually expose David's fraudulent claims. I continued developing enhancements to the customer relationship management platform while documenting every interaction that demonstrated the disconnect between David's claimed expertise and his actual capabilities. The platform's successful deployment across Nexus's client portfolio generated positive feedback and requests for additional features that required deep technical understanding of machine learning algorithms and data integration architectures. David's inability to evaluate enhancement requests or provide meaningful guidance about technical feasibility became increasingly apparent to team members who observed our working relationship during project planning sessions. When a major telecommunications client requested customization of the behavioral prediction algorithms to account for industry-specific customer communication patterns, David's response revealed his complete dependence on my technical expertise while attempting to maintain strategic oversight authority. The implementation details require extensive analysis by my technical team, he explained during the client call, gesturing toward me while avoiding specific commitments about algorithmic modifications or timeline requirements. The client's technical staff pressed for more detailed information about the machine learning architecture and customization capabilities that would determine the feasibility and cost of their requested modifications. David's inability to provide coherent responses created visible frustration among the client's data scientists who expected substantive technical discussion from someone claiming to have developed breakthrough analytical innovations. I watched this performance while maintaining professional composure, recognizing that David's technical limitations were becoming apparent to external clients as well as internal colleagues. The pattern of evasive responses and technical deflections would provide additional evidence for my eventual challenge, while potentially damaging Nexus's reputation if clients began questioning the authenticity of our claimed technological capabilities. The client meeting concluded with requests for detailed technical specifications and feasibility analysis that David assigned to me, with instructions to prepare comprehensive materials that would support the customization proposal. Once again, the actual platform developer was tasked with explaining innovations that David claimed as his own intellectual property, while he maintained strategic oversight of projects he could not understand or support technically. During this period, I began developing something that would ultimately prove far more significant than simply exposing David's intellectual property theft. The documentation process and technical enhancement work had sparked ideas for creating an even more ambitious project that would demonstrate my capabilities on a scale that could not be appropriated or diminished by corporate politics and hierarchical manipulation. I started working on what would eventually become the breakthrough that caught Fortune magazine's attention, though at the time I simply saw it as a way to build something that would be undeniably mine, while developing skills and technologies that could transform my career prospects beyond anything Nexus could offer. The project began as personal development work during evenings and weekends, using my own equipment and resources to ensure complete ownership and control over the intellectual property. The concept emerged from recognizing that the customer relationship management platform I had developed for Nexus represented only a fraction of what was possible when sophisticated analytics and machine learning were applied to business intelligence challenges across multiple industries. I began developing a comprehensive business analytics platform that could serve small and medium-sized businesses who lacked access to enterprise-level analytical tools, but needed sophisticated insights to compete effectively in increasingly data-driven markets. Traditional business intelligence solutions were designed for large corporations with substantial technology budgets and dedicated IT departments, leaving smaller businesses dependent on basic reporting tools that provided limited insights about customer behavior market trends, and operational optimization opportunities. My vision was creating an affordable, user-friendly platform that would democratize access to advanced analytics and enable small business owners to make data-driven decisions that could significantly improve their competitive positioning and profitability. The technical challenge involved developing sophisticated analytical capabilities while maintaining simplicity and affordability that would make the platform accessible to businesses with limited technical resources and modest budgets. This required innovative approaches to user interface design, automated data processing, and cloud-based deployment that could deliver enterprise-level functionality through intuitive, cost-effective solutions. I spent evenings and weekends researching market opportunities, developing technical specifications, and creating prototype applications that could demonstrate the platform's potential value for small business owners across diverse industries. The work was entirely independent from my Nexus responsibilities, using personal time and resources to ensure complete ownership of the intellectual property and freedom from any claims that the innovation belonged to my employer or represented development of company resources. The research process revealed substantial market demand for affordable business intelligence solutions that could help small businesses optimize their operations, understand their customers, and identify growth opportunities through data-driven insights. Existing solutions were either too expensive for small business budgets or too complex for non-technical business owners to implement and utilize effectively. My platform would bridge this gap by providing sophisticated analytical capabilities through intuitive interfaces that required minimal technical expertise while delivering actionable insights that could immediately impact business performance and profitability. The system would integrate with common business applications like accounting software, e-commerce platforms, and customer service tools to automatically gather data and generate meaningful reports and recommendations. The development process required learning new technologies and methodologies beyond those I had used for the Nexus customer relationship management platform. I studied advanced machine learning techniques, cloud computing architectures, and user experience design principles that would enable creation of a truly innovative solution that could compete with much larger and better-funded technology companies. Meanwhile, my professional situation at Nexus continued evolving as David's fraudulent claims about platform ownership faced increasing scrutiny from clients and colleagues who questioned the disconnect between his claimed expertise and his demonstrated technical knowledge. The successful deployment of the customer relationship management platform had generated industry attention that brought external evaluation of David's supposed innovations. Technology Review magazine published an article about emerging trends in customer analytics that featured Nexus's platform as an example of innovative approaches to behavioral prediction and sales optimization. The article included requests for technical interviews with the platform's developer, creating pressure for David to demonstrate expertise he did not possess while risking exposure of his fraudulent claims to industry-wide scrutiny. David's response to the interview request revealed his continued reliance on deflection and strategic positioning, rather than technical engagement with industry publications that could evaluate genuine innovation expertise. He declined the detailed technical interview while agreeing to provide strategic commentary about market trends and competitive positioning that avoided specific discussion of algorithmic methodologies or implementation details. The selective engagement with media attention demonstrated David's awareness that detailed technical scrutiny would expose his fraudulent claims while potentially damaging both his reputation and Nexus's credibility in the competitive technology consulting marketplace. However, his evasive approach also created opportunities for me to position myself as the technical expert who could provide substantive insights about platform development and innovation methodologies. I began accepting speaking opportunities at local technology meetups and professional conferences, where I could discuss customer analytics and machine learning applications without violating any confidentiality agreements or intellectual property restrictions. These presentations allowed me to establish my technical credentials and professional reputation within the Austin technology community, while building relationships that would prove valuable for my independent platform development project. The speaking engagements also provided platforms for discussing the broader challenges and opportunities in business intelligence democratization that formed the foundation of my personal project. I could share insights about making advanced analytics accessible to smaller businesses while demonstrating technical expertise that distinguished me from managers who claimed innovation credit without possessing genuine development capabilities. During this period, my personal business analytics platform development accelerated as I refined the technical architecture and user interface design that would enable small businesses to access sophisticated analytical capabilities through affordable, intuitive solutions. The project had evolved from personal skill development into a comprehensive business venture that could potentially transform my career while providing genuine value to underserved market segments. I incorporated natural language processing capabilities that would allow business owners to ask questions about their data in plain English and receive meaningful answers and recommendations without requiring technical knowledge about database queries or statistical analysis. The system would automatically identify trends, patterns, and opportunities within business data while presenting insights through clear visualizations and actionable recommendations that could immediately impact decision-making and performance. The platform would also include predictive capabilities that could help small businesses anticipate market changes, customer behavior shifts, and operational challenges before they became critical problems. These early warning systems would enable proactive business management that could significantly improve success rates and profitability for small business owners who traditionally relied on intuition and limited data for strategic decision-making. By December, I had developed a functioning prototype that demonstrated remarkable effectiveness in analyzing real business data and generating actionable insights for small business applications. The platform had successfully identified revenue optimization opportunities, customer retention strategies, and operational efficiency improvements when tested with data from local Austin businesses who agreed to participate in pilot programs. The breakthrough came when I discovered that combining automated financial analysis with customer behavior tracking and market trend monitoring could predict business performance changes with extraordinary accuracy, while providing specific recommendations for addressing challenges and capitalizing on opportunities. This insight represented a fundamental innovation in small business intelligence that could provide significant competitive advantages for companies willing to embrace data-driven decision-making. The pilot program results demonstrated that businesses using my platform achieved average revenue increases of 18% and customer retention improvements of 24% within the first 6 months of implementation. These results provided compelling evidence of the platform's commercial value, while establishing proof points that could support broader market adoption and investor interest in scaling the solution. Word about the platform's effectiveness began spreading through Austin's small business community, generating requests for additional pilot programs and inquiries about commercial availability. The organic demand validated my assessment of market opportunities while creating momentum that would eventually lead to the national recognition that would transform my career prospects and professional reputation. The growing success of my independent project coincided with increasing problems for David, as his fraudulent expertise claims faced mounting scrutiny from industry professionals and Nexus clients who expected substantive technical leadership from someone with his supposed innovation credentials. The disconnect between his claimed capabilities and demonstrated knowledge was becoming more apparent with each client interaction and technical discussion. During a client review meeting with a major healthcare organization, considering expanding their use of the customer relationship management platform, David's inability to address technical questions about data privacy compliance and algorithmic bias prevention created serious concerns about Nexus's technical competency and platform reliability. The client's chief information officer pressed for detailed explanations about security protocols and bias mitigation strategies that David could not provide convincingly. Dr. Sarah Kim was forced to intervene directly in the client meeting to provide technical explanations and address concerns that David's evasive responses had created. Her direct involvement in client-facing technical discussions represented a significant departure from normal protocols and suggested growing awareness among senior management that David's claimed expertise might not align with his actual capabilities. The client meeting concluded with requests for additional technical documentation and security audits that would require my direct involvement to complete successfully. Dr. Kim's assignment of these critical deliverables to me rather than to David represented a subtle but significant shift in recognition of where genuine technical expertise resided within our department. This development provided additional evidence that David's fraudulent claims were becoming unsustainable, while creating opportunities for me to demonstrate genuine technical leadership that could support my eventual challenge to his appropriation of my intellectual property. The pattern of increasing reliance on my expertise while maintaining David's strategic oversight was becoming more difficult to sustain as external scrutiny intensified. The stage was being set for a confrontation that would determine whether David's systematic intellectual property theft could continue indefinitely, or whether the growing evidence of his fraudulent claims would eventually force accountability and recognition of genuine innovation contributions. My careful documentation strategy was building toward a revelation that would expose the truth while vindicating my technical expertise and professional integrity. The success of my independent business analytics platform was creating opportunities that extended far beyond simply correcting attribution for the Nexus customer relationship management system. The growing recognition of my capabilities within Austin's technology community was opening doors to possibilities that could transform my entire career trajectory, while providing platforms for achieving the kind of recognition that could not be stolen or diminished by corporate politics. Fortune magazine's attention would ultimately validate not only my technical capabilities, but also my strategic vision for democratizing business intelligence and empowering small businesses through accessible, affordable, analytical tools. The recognition would represent vindication of my decision to fight back against workplace injustice while building something extraordinary that demonstrated the true extent of my capabilities and potential for innovation leadership. The momentum around my independent business analytics platform accelerated dramatically when Emma Rodriguez, owner of a successful Austin-based organic food distribution company, achieved a 34% increase in quarterly revenue after implementing my predictive analytics recommendations. Her enthusiastic testimonial about the platform's impact on inventory optimization and customer acquisition strategies sparked a chain reaction of referrals throughout Austin's small business community that would ultimately catch the attention of national business media. Emma had participated in my pilot program during the summer, allowing me to analyze her customer purchasing patterns, seasonal demand fluctuations, and supplier relationship data to identify optimization opportunities that traditional business management approaches had missed. The platform's machine learning algorithms discovered that her customers exhibited distinct behavioral patterns based on demographic factors and purchasing history that could be leveraged to predict demand for specific products with remarkable accuracy. More importantly, the system identified untapped market segments within her existing customer base and recommended targeted marketing strategies that resulted in significant revenue growth without requiring substantial additional investment in inventory or infrastructure. The success story demonstrated the platform's potential to transform small business performance through data-driven insights that had previously been accessible only to large corporations with extensive analytics resources. Emma's results generated considerable interest among other local business owners who had struggled to understand their customer behavior and optimize their operations using traditional methods. Word spread rapidly through professional networks, Chamber of Commerce meetings, and industry associations as business owners shared stories about the remarkable insights and practical recommendations that my platform could provide. The organic growth in demand created a sustainable foundation for scaling the platform beyond pilot programs into a legitimate commercial venture that could potentially reach thousands of small businesses across multiple markets. The authentic testimonials and proven results provided credibility that no amount of marketing or promotional efforts could have achieved, establishing genuine market validation for the innovative approach to democratizing business intelligence. During this period, my situation at Nexus continued deteriorating, as David's fraudulent claims about technical expertise faced increasingly sophisticated scrutiny from industry professionals who possessed sufficient knowledge to evaluate genuine innovation capabilities. The disconnect between his supposed achievements and demonstrated understanding was becoming more apparent with each client interaction and technical discussion that required substantive expertise rather than superficial business positioning. The turning point came during a major industry conference in Dallas, where David had been invited to speak about customer relationship management innovations as part of a panel discussion featuring recognized leaders in business analytics and machine learning applications. The speaking opportunity represented significant professional recognition that could substantially advance his career while providing industry-wide validation of his supposed technical achievements. However, the panel format would require interactive discussion with other legitimate experts who could evaluate technical claims through detailed questioning and comparative analysis of different approaches to similar challenges. David would face direct comparison with genuinely qualified professionals who could discuss breakthrough innovations with authority and technical precision that he fundamentally lacked. The conference organizers had specifically requested technical presentations that would provide actionable insights for audience members working on similar analytical challenges. The format emphasized practical implementation details, algorithmic methodologies, and lessons learned from real-world deployment experiences, rather than high-level strategic discussions that could avoid technical substance. David's preparation for the conference presentation revealed his continued dependence on my expertise, while attempting to maintain his fraudulent claims about platform ownership and development leadership. He requested comprehensive briefing materials that could support his presentation without requiring detailed understanding of technical concepts or implementation strategies that he could not explain convincingly. Jessica, I need you to prepare detailed technical explanations that will resonate with industry professionals while avoiding complexity that might expose proprietary methodologies, David instructed during our preparation meeting. The audience will include data scientists and technology executives who understand machine learning principles, so my presentation must demonstrate authoritative expertise without revealing competitive secrets that could benefit our competitors. The request represented explicit acknowledgement that David lacked the technical knowledge necessary to discuss innovations he supposedly created, while expecting me to provide explanations that would enable successful fraud perpetration before industry professionals who could recognize authentic expertise. The irony of asking the actual platform developer to explain her own work to someone claiming ownership was becoming increasingly surreal as David's desperation to maintain his fraudulent claims intensified. I approached the briefing session with strategic awareness that my explanations would likely be appropriated for David's conference presentation, but I also recognized that providing accurate technical information would create opportunities to document his fundamental inability to comprehend basic concepts about platform development and machine learning implementation. The customer relationship management platform integrates multiple neural network architectures with real-time data processing pipelines that enable behavioral prediction accuracy improvements of 47% over conventional analytical approaches, I explained, watching David's attempts to follow technical concepts that required years of specialized education and practical experience to understand meaningfully. David interrupted with questions that revealed his complete confusion about fundamental machine learning concepts, while demonstrating his attempt to understand technical relationships through superficial business language, rather than genuine algorithmic comprehension. When you mention neural network architectures, are you referring to the computational frameworks that process customer data, or are these separate analytical components that operate independently within the platform infrastructure? The question demonstrated David's fundamental misunderstanding of how machine learning systems function, while revealing his conceptualization of data processing as discrete business operations, rather than integrated mathematical transformations and statistical modeling techniques. His mental model of technical implementation appeared to treat algorithmic components as separate entities requiring coordination protocols, rather than unified computational frameworks processing inputs through mathematical operations. I spent 3 hours attempting to explain concepts that David could not absorb despite intensive effort and repeated clarification requests. The session revealed the fundamental impossibility of enabling someone without technical background to discuss breakthrough algorithmic innovations convincingly, while providing comprehensive documentation of David's inability to understand work he claimed to have developed independently. The briefing session concluded with David's request for simplified talking points that could substitute for genuine technical understanding during conference discussions. I need concise explanations that demonstrate expertise without requiring detailed technical elaboration that might expose our competitive methodologies, David requested, acknowledging his inability to engage substantive algorithmic discussions while maintaining expectations for successful fraud perpetration before industry experts. I prepared the requested materials while recognizing that David's reliance on memorized talking points would likely expose his fraudulent claims when subjected to follow-up questions or technical discussions that deviated from prepared responses. The approach represented fundamental misunderstanding of how technical expertise functions in professional environments, where genuine knowledge enables flexible discussion and problem-solving, rather than rigid adherence to predetermined explanations. The conference took place at the Dallas Convention Center, with attendance by over 800 technology professionals from across the Southwest region. The Business Analytics panel was scheduled as one of the premier sessions, featuring recognized innovators who had developed breakthrough solutions for complex data processing and customer intelligence challenges across multiple industries. David's fellow panelists included Dr. Jennifer Martinez from IBM's Watson Analytics division, who had led development of natural language processing applications for enterprise customer service optimization, and Dr. Michael Chen from Google's Cloud AI platform, who specialized in machine learning infrastructure for real-time behavioral prediction at massive scale. Both possessed exceptional technical credentials and extensive experience discussing complex algorithmic innovations with sophisticated professional audiences. The panel discussion began with introductory presentations from each participant about their innovative approaches to customer analytics and business intelligence challenges. Dr. Martinez discussed breakthrough developments in conversational AI that enabled automated customer service interactions while maintaining natural communication patterns that improved satisfaction and resolution rates. Her technical presentation demonstrated comprehensive understanding of natural language processing architectures, training methodologies, and deployment strategies that characterized legitimate innovation leadership in artificial intelligence applications. The sophisticated technical content and implementation details created context for evaluating other panelists' contributions, while establishing expectations for substantive technical discussion throughout the session. Dr. Chen followed with a presentation about scalable machine learning infrastructure that could process billions of customer interactions in real time while maintaining prediction accuracy and system responsiveness that met enterprise performance requirements. His discussion of distributed computing architectures, optimization algorithms, and quality assurance methodologies provided additional technical benchmarks that would frame evaluation of David's supposed innovations. The technical sophistication demonstrated by legitimate experts created increasingly challenging conditions for David to maintain his fraudulent claims without exposure, through detailed questioning or comparative analysis of different approaches to similar technical challenges. The audience included data scientists, technology executives, and research professionals who possessed sufficient background to evaluate genuine innovation expertise through interactive discussion. David approached the podium for his presentation with carefully rehearsed confidence that masked his profound anxiety about discussing innovations he fundamentally did not understand. His prepared materials avoided specific technical commitments while emphasizing business value and market positioning that could deflect attention from algorithmic implementation details or methodological explanations. The evolution of customer relationship management requires strategic reimagining of how businesses process and analyze customer data to generate actionable insights for sales optimization and retention strategies, David began, using generic language that incorporated technical terminology without requiring detailed understanding of implementation methodologies or algorithmic design principles. Traditional CRM systems function as isolated data repositories that fail to provide comprehensive behavioral analysis or predictive capabilities that modern sales teams need to maximize their effectiveness in competitive market environments, he continued, presenting concepts from my research as his own strategic assessment while avoiding specific technical details that could expose his inability to explain innovations he supposedly created. The audience listened with professional attention while evaluating David's explanations against their own expertise about machine learning applications and data integration challenges. The sophisticated technical background of audience members created evaluation standards that would likely expose fraudulent claims through detailed questioning and technical discussion that exceeded memorized explanations. David proceeded through his prepared presentation materials while avoiding algorithmic details that could reveal his inability to explain technical innovations meaningfully. His approach demonstrated continued reliance on business positioning rather than substantive technical engagement that could satisfy audience expectations for genuine innovation discussion from recognized industry experts. The presentation reached its conclusion without major technical exposition, creating anticipation for the question and answer session, where audience members would have opportunities to explore implementation details and methodological approaches that distinguish different analytical platforms and innovation strategies. The first question came from Dr. Rebecca Foster, a machine learning researcher from the University of Texas who specialized in behavioral prediction algorithms for customer analytics applications. Mr. Thompson, your platform appears to achieve remarkable accuracy improvements in customer behavior prediction. Could you explain the specific neural network architectures and training methodologies that enable such significant performance gains over conventional approaches? David's response revealed the fundamental weakness in his fraudulent expertise claims, while providing clear evidence of his inability to discuss technical innovations he supposedly developed. The implementation details involve proprietary algorithmic frameworks that provide competitive advantages through superior pattern recognition capabilities, David replied, avoiding specific technical commitments while attempting to project authority about innovations he could not explain meaningfully. Dr. Foster pressed for more detailed technical information that would enable evaluation of the platform's capabilities and potential applications for academic research collaborations. The neural network architecture appears particularly sophisticated based on your performance claims. What specific approaches did you use to address overfitting concerns and ensure robust performance across diverse customer datasets and market conditions? The technical specificity of Dr. Foster's question exceeded David's memorized explanations, while requiring genuine expertise about machine learning validation and algorithmic optimization that characterized legitimate platform development. His response demonstrated continued reliance on deflection and strategic positioning, rather than substantive technical engagement with sophisticated professional inquiries. Our approach optimizes predictive accuracy through comprehensive validation frameworks that ensure statistical significance across multiple market scenarios and customer demographics, David explained, using generic language that avoided specific methodological details while attempting to maintain claims about innovation leadership and technical oversight of breakthrough development processes. The evasive response created visible frustration among audience members who expected substantive technical discussion from someone claiming breakthrough achievements in customer analytics and machine learning applications. Several additional questions followed that exposed David's inability to discuss basic implementation concepts, optimization strategies, or validation methodologies that any legitimate developer would understand thoroughly. Dr. Martinez from IBM Watson Analytics asked about integration approaches that enabled real-time processing of diverse data sources while maintaining system responsiveness and prediction accuracy. Dr. Chen from Google Cloud I requested information about scalability architectures and computational efficiency optimization that would determine commercial viability for enterprise deployment across large customer bases. Each question revealed additional gaps in David's technical knowledge, while demonstrating his systematic inability to engage substantive discussions about innovations he claimed to have developed independently. The pattern of evasive responses and technical deflections painted a clear picture of someone claiming credit for work he could not explain or support through genuine understanding. The panel discussion concluded with apparent skepticism from both fellow panelists and audience members about the authenticity of David's technical claims, though professional courtesy prevented direct challenges to his supposed expertise during the public forum. However, the networking reception following the panel created opportunities for more pointed questions and informal evaluation of David's technical knowledge by industry professionals who could recognize authentic innovation expertise. During the reception, Dr. Foster approached David with specific questions about implementation details and research methodologies that could support potential collaboration opportunities between the University of Texas and Nexus Digital Solutions. Her technical inquiries quickly exposed David's inability to discuss even basic concepts about machine learning architecture or algorithmic validation that would be fundamental knowledge for anyone who had actually developed the platform. I watched this interaction from across the reception area, while documenting David's continued pattern of technical evasion and fraudulent expertise claims. The conference experience provided additional evidence of his systematic inability to support innovations he supposedly created while demonstrating the growing recognition among industry professionals that his technical credentials might not align with his actual capabilities. The conference also provided unexpected opportunities for me to establish relationships with genuine technology leaders who could potentially support my independent platform development efforts. During informal conversations with various attendees, I was able to discuss my authentic expertise in machine learning applications and small business analytics without violating any confidentiality agreements or intellectual property restrictions. Dr. Sarah Williams from Microsoft's Small Business Technology Initiative expressed particular interest in my insights about democratizing business intelligence and making advanced analytics accessible to companies with limited technical resources. Her questions about implementation challenges and market opportunities demonstrated sophisticated understanding of the technical and business factors that could determine success in underserved market segments. Our conversation revealed potential collaboration opportunities that could accelerate development and deployment of my business analytics platform, while providing access to resources and expertise that could significantly enhance its capabilities and market reach. Dr. Williams shared information about Microsoft's strategic initiatives to support innovative technology solutions for small business applications, suggesting potential pathways for funding and partnership that could transform my independent project into a substantial commercial venture. The conference experience reinforced my assessment that genuine technical expertise and authentic innovation would ultimately be recognized and valued by industry professionals who could distinguish between legitimate achievements and fraudulent claims. The networking opportunities also demonstrated that my technical capabilities and strategic vision for business intelligence democratization were attracting attention from established technology leaders who could provide meaningful support for independent innovation efforts. Meanwhile, the growing success of my business analytics platform was generating additional validation through measurable results and expanding market adoption. 3 more Austin businesses had achieved significant performance improvements using my analytical recommendations, creating a portfolio of success stories that demonstrated consistent value delivery across diverse industry applications. Rodriguez Landscaping Services had optimized their service routing and seasonal staffing based on customer demand predictions, resulting in 28% improvement in operational efficiency and 22% increase in customer satisfaction scores. The platform's analysis of historical service requests, weather patterns, and demographic factors had identified optimization opportunities that traditional business management approaches had completely missed. Austin Artisan Bakery had implemented inventory optimization strategies based on predictive analysis of customer purchasing patterns, seasonal demand fluctuations, and local event calendars, achieving 31% reduction in food waste while increasing revenue by 19% through better product availability and targeted promotional campaigns. The sophisticated analytical capabilities had enabled data-driven decision-making that significantly improved both profitability and operational sustainability. Creative Marketing Solutions, a small advertising agency, had used the platform's client behavior analysis to optimize their service offerings and pricing strategies, resulting in 42% improvement in client retention and 26% increase in average project value. The system had identified service gaps and pricing opportunities that enabled more effective competitive positioning and customer value delivery. The consistent pattern of significant performance improvements across diverse business applications provided compelling evidence of the platform's commercial viability, while establishing proof points that could support broader market expansion and investor interest in scaling the solution to reach thousands of small businesses nationwide. Word about these remarkable results was spreading beyond Austin's local business community through industry publications, professional conferences, and social media channels, where business owners shared their experiences with innovative analytical tools that had transformed their operations and profitability. The organic testimonials and authentic success stories were creating momentum that would eventually attract national attention from business media organizations looking for breakthrough innovation stories. During this period, I made the strategic decision to formalize my business analytics platform development into a legitimate startup venture that could pursue funding, partnerships, and market expansion opportunities that would enable significant scale and impact. The transition from personal project to commercial enterprise required comprehensive business planning, legal structure creation, and intellectual property protection that would ensure complete ownership and control over the innovations I had developed independently. I incorporated DataWise Analytics as a Delaware corporation with headquarters in Austin, establishing legal frameworks that would protect my intellectual property while enabling pursuit of venture capital funding and strategic partnerships that could accelerate platform development and market deployment. The incorporation process required careful documentation of my exclusive role in developing the platform's core technologies to ensure that no claims could be made by Nexus or any other parties about ownership of the innovations. The business plan development process revealed substantial market opportunities for affordable business intelligence solutions that could serve the estimated 30 million small and medium-sized businesses in the United States who lacked access to enterprise-level analytical tools. Market research indicated that less than 15% of small businesses used any form of advanced data analysis for decision-making, despite widespread recognition that data-driven insights could significantly improve performance and competitive positioning. The addressable market represented billions of dollars in potential revenue for solutions that could effectively bridge the gap between sophisticated analytical capabilities and practical accessibility for non-technical business owners. The platform's proven ability to deliver immediate, measurable value through intuitive interfaces and automated insights positioned it uniquely to capture significant market share in this underserved segment. I began developing relationships with potential investors, technology partners, and industry advisors who could provide funding, expertise, and strategic guidance for scaling the platform beyond pilot programs into a comprehensive commercial solution. The authentic success stories and proven market demand provided compelling evidence of commercial viability that distinguished my venture from theoretical concepts or unproven technologies seeking investment. The fundraising process also provided opportunities to establish my professional credentials and technical expertise within the broader technology investment community. Venture capital partners and angel investors who evaluated the DataWise analytics opportunity could assess my capabilities directly through technical discussions and platform demonstrations that clearly established my role as the primary innovator and technical leader behind the breakthrough solution. These interactions contrasted sharply with David's continued struggles to maintain his fraudulent claims about technical expertise as industry scrutiny intensified, and his inability to explain supposedly proprietary innovations became more apparent to colleagues and clients. The growing awareness of his technical limitations was creating internal pressure at Nexus, while potentially damaging the company's reputation among clients who expected substantive technical leadership from senior management. The situation reached a critical point when Nexus's largest client, a major retail corporation, requested detailed technical documentation and algorithmic auditing of the customer relationship management platform as part of their annual vendor evaluation process. The comprehensive review would require technical explanations and implementation details that David could not provide without extensive support from me or other team members who possess genuine expertise about platform functionality. Dr. Sarah Kim was forced to assign primary responsibility for the client technical review to me rather than to David, representing a significant departure from normal protocols and suggesting growing awareness among senior management about where genuine technical expertise resided within the department. The assignment provided additional evidence that David's fraudulent claims were becoming unsustainable, while creating opportunities for me to demonstrate technical leadership that could support my eventual challenge to his appropriation of my intellectual property. The comprehensive client review process would require detailed technical presentations, algorithmic documentation, and performance validation that would either expose David's fraudulent expertise claims or force him to rely increasingly on my genuine technical knowledge while maintaining his strategic oversight fiction. Either outcome would provide additional evidence for my case while potentially creating opportunities for broader recognition of my actual contributions to Nexus's technological capabilities. The momentum was building toward a confrontation that would determine whether David's systematic intellectual property theft could continue indefinitely, or whether the accumulating evidence of his fraudulent claims would eventually force accountability and appropriate recognition of genuine innovation contributions. My careful documentation strategy and independent platform development were creating multiple pathways for vindication while building something extraordinary that demonstrated the true extent of my capabilities and potential for transformational impact in the technology industry. The call from Fortune magazine came on a Tuesday morning in February while I was reviewing client analytics reports at my new DataWise Analytics office space in Austin's thriving startup district. Senior editor Marcus Thompson had discovered my business through a chain of referrals that started with Dr. Sarah Williams from Microsoft, who had mentioned my innovative approach to small business intelligence during an editorial board meeting about emerging technology trends. Fortune was developing their annual 30 Under 30 Tech Innovators feature and needed compelling stories about young entrepreneurs who were democratizing technology access and creating meaningful impact for underserved markets. My business analytics platform and the remarkable client success stories had caught their attention as a perfect example of innovation that combined technical sophistication with genuine social impact. The interview process was comprehensive, involving multiple conversations with Marcus and his research team about my technical background, platform development process, client results, and vision for expanding access to advanced analytics capabilities. They were particularly interested in the measurable outcomes my clients had achieved and the broader implications for small business competitiveness in increasingly data-driven market environments. Marcus requested detailed documentation of client results, technical specifications of the platform's capabilities, and verification of my educational background and professional experience. The thoroughness of their fact-checking process meant that every claim would be rigorously validated before publication, ensuring that the eventual article would accurately represent my achievements and technical contributions. During the same week, David's situation at Nexus reached a breaking point when the major retail client's technical audit revealed significant gaps in his ability to explain the customer relationship management platform's algorithmic methodologies and performance validation procedures. The client's data science team had prepared sophisticated questions about machine learning optimization and bias prevention that exposed his fundamental lack of technical understanding. Dr. Sarah Kim was forced to intervene directly in multiple client meetings to provide technical explanations that David could not deliver convincingly. Her increasing involvement in technical discussions that should have been David's responsibility created visible tension within the department, while raising questions among senior management about his actual expertise and leadership effectiveness. The situation became untenable when the client formally requested that all future technical communications be handled directly through me rather than through David, citing concerns about consistency and depth of technical responses. This unprecedented arrangement effectively bypassed David's authority, while acknowledging that genuine technical expertise resided elsewhere within the department. CEO Michael Rodriguez called an emergency meeting to address the client concerns and determine appropriate restructuring of departmental leadership responsibilities. The meeting included Dr. Sarah Kim, Jennifer Martinez, and both David and myself, creating the first direct forum where questions about technical expertise and project attribution could be addressed comprehensively. Michael began the meeting with characteristic directness about the client's situation and its implications for Nexus's reputation and future business relationships. David, we have serious concerns about our ability to support client technical requirements through your department leadership. The retail client has specifically requested alternative communication channels for technical discussions, which suggests fundamental problems with our current approach. Dr. Sarah Kim presented a comprehensive analysis of recent client interactions, project deliverables, and technical performance metrics that painted a clear picture of David's inability to provide substantive technical leadership. Her presentation included specific examples of evasive responses, technical deflections, and instances where my direct intervention had been necessary to maintain client satisfaction and project progress. The evidence was overwhelming and irrefutable, demonstrating a systematic pattern of technical inadequacy that threatened Nexus's competitive position and client relationships. David's attempts to deflect responsibility and maintain his fraudulent claims crumbled under the weight of documented evidence and verified client feedback about his performance. Jennifer Martinez raised questions about project attribution and intellectual property ownership that had become increasingly relevant as David's technical limitations became apparent. Her investigation had revealed significant discrepancies between David's claimed contributions and the documented evidence of actual development work on the customer relationship management platform. The meeting concluded with David's immediate removal from technical leadership responsibilities and my promotion to Senior Technology Director with full authority over platform development and client technical relationships. The restructuring represented complete vindication of my technical capabilities, while officially recognizing my role in creating the innovations that David had fraudulently claimed. 2 weeks later, Fortune magazine published their feature article titled, "The 24-Year-Old Who's Democratizing Business Intelligence for Small Companies." The comprehensive piece detailed my journey from overlooked junior developer to successful entrepreneur, highlighting the remarkable client results and innovative technical approach that distinguished DataWise analytics from traditional business intelligence solutions. The article included detailed quotes from my clients about the transformative impact of data-driven insights on their business performance, technical analysis of the platform's machine learning capabilities, and strategic commentary about the broader implications for small business competitiveness in digital markets. The coverage positioned me as a recognized thought leader in accessible analytics and innovation democratization. Marcus Thompson's article also included a sidebar about workplace intellectual property issues and the importance of recognizing genuine technical contributions in corporate environments. While David was not mentioned by name, the discussion provided broader context about challenges facing innovative employees in hierarchical organizations that sometimes fail to appropriately attribute breakthrough work. The Fortune recognition generated immediate interest from major venture capital firms, technology partners, and potential clients across multiple industries. DataWise Analytics received over 500 inquiries within the first week after publication, creating momentum that would enable rapid scaling and market expansion far beyond my initial projections. The media attention also attracted speaking opportunities at major technology conferences, advisory board positions with startup accelerators, and consulting engagements with enterprise clients seeking to implement similar analytical capabilities for their own small business partner networks. The recognition established my professional reputation on a national scale, while opening doors to opportunities that would have been impossible to achieve through traditional corporate advancement paths. David's career at Nexus effectively ended within a month of my promotion, as his inability to contribute meaningfully to technical projects became apparent to everyone in the organization. He eventually left the company to pursue opportunities in non-technical business development roles, where his presentation skills could be valuable without requiring genuine technical expertise or innovation leadership. The contrast between our career trajectories provided a powerful illustration of how authentic expertise and genuine innovation ultimately triumph over fraudulent claims and stolen credit. While David's approach had achieved temporary success through appropriation and deception, my commitment to technical excellence and authentic value creation had generated sustainable recognition and meaningful impact that could not be taken away or diminished. 6 months after the Fortune article, DataWise Analytics completed a Series A funding round that raised $12 million to accelerate platform development and market expansion. The investment enabled hiring of additional technical talent, development of enhanced analytical capabilities, and deployment across thousands of small businesses nationwide who could benefit from accessible, affordable business intelligence solutions. The success represented vindication not only of my technical capabilities, but also of my strategic vision for democratizing advanced analytics and empowering small businesses through data-driven insights. The journey from dismissed junior employee to nationally recognized innovator demonstrated that authentic talent and genuine value creation will ultimately be recognized and rewarded, regardless of temporary setbacks or unfair treatment by small-minded supervisors. Looking back, David's dismissive comment about my lack of experience had inadvertently motivated me to build something extraordinary that proved my capabilities beyond any doubt. His attempt to steal credit for my work had forced me to develop independent projects that ultimately led to greater recognition and impact than anything I could have achieved within Nexus's corporate constraints. The experience taught me that workplace injustice, while painful and frustrating, can become a catalyst for extraordinary achievement when channeled through strategic thinking, authentic innovation, and unwavering commitment to technical excellence. Fortune magazine's recognition represented not just personal vindication, but validation of the principle that genuine talent will ultimately find ways to shine, regardless of attempts to suppress or appropriate it. Up next, you've got 2 more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out.